to breathe.
Can we get a round of applause for that? Tommy introduced that song to us as we were preparing for this, and it really, again, helps to ground us and inspire us, so thank you. So, why do I show up? I was surprised by the existential tailspin this question sparked as it became the theme for this talk. In my head, I was peeling back all these layers. Why do I show up? What does that mean exactly? I'm not a librarian. I'm a marketer, a storyteller, a strategist who has dedicated their career to libraries. Outside of work, I'm an activist. But when we say showing up, who is it that we're showing up for? I've been no stranger to existential meanderings over the past year, to be totally honest. In April 2024, I left my 15-year career at NEXT Libraries in Colorado, where I was the director of strategic partnerships. I didn't have a plan for my next move, but I knew I needed a little time and space to figure it out. Even as a self-described risk taker, someone who 13 years ago designed a whole conference around taking smart risks to move libraries forward, this was scary as hell. One of the hardest things I've ever done, to be honest. And I think was such a huge part of my identity, and still is to this day. It was very difficult to imagine what life would be like after leaving there. I also never in a million years thought I'd ever be in a position to take time off. I've been working since I was 12 years old, bussing tables at Jeff's Sandwich Shop in San Bernardino, California. I didn't think that was a thing, that you could take a break. And for so many, it's not. But it was something I was able to do, and it was the best thing I've ever done for myself. To take the time that I needed to heal from burnout, to think and daydream and write, and reflect on the future. For the past several years, I've been talking with library staff around the world about joy as an essential service. I believe strongly that along with the basic needs that libraries provide, access to information, a safe place, people who can help them navigate systems that have often left many behind, that joy is also essential. Sometimes the only smile a person receives in a day is at their local library, and that's incredibly powerful. Joy fuels our resilience and reminds us what it is exactly we're showing up for. Joy helps us to combat fear and fuels hope. Art, music, food, and nature bring joy, as does human connection. Having a space for dialogue like this sparks joy. Citizen power can be joyous, even when the work itself can be really hard. And the world is hard right now. People need to know that someone they trust is on their side. By creating moments of joy, we're showing our communities that we care for them, that we put them at the center. We don't know what their lives are like before they get to us and after they leave. All we have is the sliver of time that they're with us. That's all we have control over. And as we know, our worlds change so quickly that we cannot take those slivers, those moments for granted. So there I was. I left my job of 15 years, no idea what I was going to do next, but I knew I needed a break. And a mentor of mine, Kimberly Sherwood, gave me some great advice. Live your philosophy. And so that's what I did. I decided to, very intentionally, practice what I had been preaching. I recentered creativity in my life. I spent time with family and friends. I went to museums and parks and listened to the birds and watched the trees in my backyard grow. I went to concerts and I wrote like crazy. This experience fueled me so I could continue showing up for myself and showing up for the people that I love. Because the fuel is essential. Eventually, this time of reflection also led me to starting my own business. So, why do I show up? Eric Liu, the co-founder of Citizen University, wrote a book in 2017 about citizen power titled "You're More Powerful Than You Think." In his book, he talks about how power is infinite and can be conjured almost magically by organizing. Organizing is magic, he writes. It is magic that it creates something from seemingly nothing without subtracting from what existed previously. When you teach me to give a speech in public, you add to the amount of activated power in the world. You do not subtract power from people who already knew how to public speak. And there's something about that magic. People creating something out of seemingly nothing, just like what we've been doing here this whole conference, that keeps me showing up. Whether creating art or writing or building movements, it's something formed that was not there before. And there's something exhilarating about that. So, why do I show up? When I was 3 years old, my mom got a job transfer from New Jersey to Southern California, which is roughly from here in Ortos to New York City. This was a long way. She packed up my 1-year-old sister and me for the cross-country drive, while Dad stayed behind to settle the house. When she got out there, Dad decided to stay in New Jersey. So here she was, in a completely new state, thousands of miles from her family, raising 2 young girls on her own. As the oldest, I became the confidant. I became the caretaker, right? My sister often jokes I'm the one who raised her, usually when she's been doing something nefarious. Mom worked 2 jobs to pay the bills and still drove us across town every day so we went to a good school, typically us singing at the top of our lungs the whole way. The A.K. Smiley Library in Redlands, California was a regular stop on our way home. Mom made sure we had a good life, despite the odds stacked against her. As a single mom with few resources, working in a male-dominated field in the 80s, divorced, never having finished college because she had to quit to take care of her own mother. So, why do I show up? What part is innate? What part is ego? What part has been shaped by life experience? What part is driven by the kind of world that I want to live in and I believe in? And I think it's all of it. I show up because of all of those who have shown up before me and those who will pave the way ahead. I show up because of my deep passion for connecting with others. I show up because of a desire for meaning and purpose. Because of the fire in my belly that I'm pretty sure was there coming out of the womb. And yet, doubts still creep in sometimes about whether it's enough. But no matter the doubts or the obstacles ahead, I'll still be here, standing with my colleagues, standing with all of you, ready with a smile, and probably a hug. Because frankly, I don't know any other way to be. Thank you.
Incredible.
Love you guys.